What if that tiny insect crawling across your floor isn't just a bug, but a divine message meant only for you? What if the universe has been trying to speak to you all along, and you've been swatting it away? Nothing is random. Every visitor has a message. Have you ever felt like the universe was trying to speak to you, but in a language you didn't fully understand? Imagine this. You're alone in your room, deep in thought, and suddenly a bee appears out of nowhere. No window open, no flowers nearby. Just you and that bee. Strange? Maybe. Random? Not a chance. Capital Brainwave warmly welcomes you. We live in a world that teaches us to ignore the little things. But what if the little things are actually the messengers of something far greater? What if that tiny creature was never just a bug, but a sign, a whisper from a force beyond your comprehension? Every now and then, something small but powerful enters our space. A dragonfly during heartbreak, a ladybug when we feel lost, a cricket song when silence feels too loud. These aren't accidents. These are moments of divine interruption, when the veil between the seen and the unseen grows thin. It's easy to overlook them, to swat them away or dismiss them as coincidence. But what if nothing, absolutely nothing, in your life is random? What if even the smallest visitor carries a message that your soul is waiting to receive? You're not just watching this video by chance. You were meant to hear this. Something inside you has been calling for deeper meaning. And the answer? It might come on wings, legs, or antennae. This is just the beginning. Stay until the end. You'll never see insects the same way again. If this speaks to you, support Capital Brainwave by subscribing now. It gives us the motivation to bring you more mind-opening stories like this one. Now, a question just for you. When something unexpected happens in your life, what do you usually do? A. Look for meaning in it. B. Brush it off as random. B. Comment your answer below with A or B. We'd love to hear your insight. You are energy. The world is energy, and you are connected. What if I told you that you are not just flesh and bone, not just a collection of organs and thoughts moving through space? You are energy, not in some poetic or spiritual sense, but in a scientifically proven, measurable, undeniable way. Quantum physics, the very field that underpins our understanding of existence, tells us that at the subatomic level, everything is energy. You, me, the chair you're sitting on, the air between us. And yes, even the smallest insect that finds its way into your home. All of it is vibrating, shifting energy in motion. This isn't mysticism, it's reality, one that most of us have forgotten. We've been trained to perceive only what our eyes can see, only what can be explained or categorized. But beyond that lies the quantum field, the invisible web of energy connecting everything in the universe. Jesus once said, "The kingdom of heaven is all around you." What if he meant exactly that? Not metaphorically, but literally. In this quantum field, separation is an illusion. Your thoughts ripple out, affecting your environment. Your attention can shift the behavior of particles. You are not just in the universe. You are part of it. An active participant. A conscious observer with the sacred ability to perceive meaning in the tiniest events. So when a ladybug lands on your shoulder or a dragonfly hovers near your window, it's not just coincidence, it's resonance, energy meeting energy, a moment that's been magnetized by your vibration, your frequency, your internal call for something more. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers, and those whispers, they arrive in wings, in songs, in tiny forms we've learned to overlook. But once you remember who you really are, an energetic being in an interconnected world, you'll never ignore those signs again. You'll start listening. And in doing so, you'll begin to see the divine at work in even the smallest things. When and how to recognize a spiritual visit. Sometimes the signs we most need don't arrive with thunder or flash. They come quietly, wrapped in simplicity. A flutter on the wall, a soft buzz at your window, a creature too small for anyone else to notice. But how do you know when an insect is just part of the landscape, and when it's something more? The answer lies in how it shows up. Not all insect visits are meaningful. Nature has its patterns, and sometimes a fly is just a fly. But when something appears out of context, unexpectedly, persistently, or during a moment of deep emotion or thought, that's when it's time to pause. Spiritual signs rarely follow logic. They follow energy, timing, resonance. They arrive precisely when your inner world is shifting, uncertain, or reaching. Have you ever had a moment of silence broken by the chirp of a cricket just as you were asking for guidance? Or found a bee inside your home on a cold morning with no open doors or blooming flowers nearby? These aren't ordinary events. They are precise, timed, meant to catch your attention. What makes the difference is how it feels. There's a subtle knowing inside you, a tingle, a stillness, a strange recognition that tells you something is different. Trust that. Your body knows more than your mind will admit. Intuition isn't a guess. It's your soul recognizing a pattern before your brain can explain it. In those moments, don't dismiss the visitor. Don't swat it away. Instead, stop. Look deeper. Ask what it might be trying to say. Gratitude and awareness create the space for insight. You're not just witnessing a moment, you're being invited into it. The universe won't always shout. Sometimes it speaks through the soft wings of something small, asking, "Are you still listening? Are you?" 6 insects and the spiritual messages they carry. Each insect carries a presence beyond its body, an ancient memory, a coded message, a ripple in the unseen. And when they cross into our lives with uninvited precision, they do not come empty. They come with meaning. A bee inside your home, especially when there's no hive, no flowers, and no clear reason for it, signals that your vision is aligning with abundance. In many spiritual traditions, the bee is a sacred symbol of divine purpose and harvest. It reminds you that what you've planted in silence is beginning to bloom, even if you cannot yet see the petals. You are being guided toward prosperity, not by force, but by resonance. Ants speak in the language of movement and persistence. Their visit is not just about labor, it's about rhythm. A trail of black ants may seem mundane, but in spiritual terms, it affirms that your efforts have not gone unnoticed. It is a quiet reward from the universe, a nod to your discipline. But red ants speak differently. Their presence carries urgency. They appear when something needs your attention, a decision, a warning, a need for patience. They ask you to slow down before moving forward. The arrival of a ladybug is a whisper of joy. It is softness wrapped in color, a symbol of divine protection and grace. When it lands on you, don't rush it away. Receive it. This encounter signals that you are not alone, that your spirit is watched over, and that joy is coming closer. Crickets are not random noise. Their song carries ancestral vibration. When they sing near you, especially in solitude, it is as if a voice from beyond is gently calling, reminding you that guidance is never far. Every creature that enters your space has a history older than memory. The question is never, why is this here? The real question is, am I ready to hear what it came to say? The universe is always speaking. Will you listen? We often imagine that divine messages must come wrapped in thunder, written across the sky, or spoken by voices beyond the veil. But what if the most sacred guidance is delivered in smaller, quieter ways? In a flutter, in a hum, in a pause so soft that only a still heart can hear it. The truth is, the universe rarely interrupts. It waits for your awareness. It waits for the moment when your eyes are tired of only seeing, and your soul begins to feel. That's when the signs appear, not as miracles crashing down from above, but as simple, precise arrivals at just the right time. Insects, often dismissed as common or bothersome, can be carriers of profound insight. Their presence, when unusual, is never meaningless. These are not bugs to be swatted, they are moments to be noticed. They show up when your spirit is asking questions your mouth hasn't formed yet. They arrive when your inner world is shifting, even if your outer world hasn't caught up. You may not always understand the message immediately. That's okay. What matters is that you begin to trust the rhythm of your own attention. You begin to honor the timing of the moment, and you begin to accept that you are not separate from the guidance you seek. You are part of it. The next time something small disturbs the stillness of your day, let it. Welcome the interruption. Let it pull you closer to wonder. Because the divine rarely knocks loudly. It leaves the door cracked and waits for you to notice the breeze. You are not alone. You are never without a guide. The signs have always been there. The only question that remains is whether you will start paying attention. Not with your eyes, but with something deeper, something eternal, something that already knows how to listen. In a world constantly buzzing with information, distractions, and noise, it's easy to overlook the quiet, almost invisible ways life tries to speak to us. We're conditioned to think that important messages must be grand, announced with thunder, spotlighted in clarity, and endorsed by logic. But the deeper truth is far more mysterious. The most personal, powerful messages often come disguised in simplicity, in silence, in moments so gentle we barely notice them. And yet, those are the moments that change everything, if we're willing to listen. The sudden appearance of an insect in your home may seem insignificant at first glance, but when you start noticing the timing, the patterns, and how they align with your emotional or spiritual state, something shifts. A bee on a day you doubt yourself. A cricket when you're longing for connection. A dragonfly during a period of change. These are not coincidences. They are energetic echoes, reflections of your inner world speaking through the outer one. They are proof that life is not random, but responsive. By choosing to see meaning in these moments, you begin to rewrite your relationship with reality. You stop feeling like a passive victim of circumstances and start realizing that you're part of a sacred dialogue. The universe isn't distant, it's listening, it's answering, not with words, but with energy, with movement, with timing, and with signs that show up just when you need them. The real lesson here is awareness. Cultivate it. Slow down enough to notice what's trying to reach you. Be curious instead of dismissive. Ask questions like, why now? Or, what part of me needed this message? Doing so reconnects you with the flow of life and with the part of yourself that already knows you are not alone. So here's a gentle question for you. Have you ever felt like something small, an insect, a sound, a moment, was trying to tell you something important? A. Yes, and I still think about it. B. Not yet, but I'm open to noticing it next time. Please leave your answer in the comments. Your perspective might inspire someone else to pay closer attention too. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to Capital Brainwave. Your support helps us create more meaningful content and continue exploring the unseen side of life together.